Hello everyone and welcome to the YouTube channel of Get Set Law by IMS. I'm your mentor Sanjana Chauhan and this video will help you to keep in mind certain points, the omission of which can prove to be potential score killers. This is for the English language and logical reasoning exam, right? There are certain things which we as students tend to do and that can actually help us not score that well, right? So what they are, let's take a look at them one by one, alright? First and foremost, right, very important, anytime we have the examination paper on us, we start to jump to conclusions and we start to form assumptions, and we just maybe just take a look at the entire paper and we form our own ideas that the paper is very difficult, and you tend to just overthink a lot, and this overthinking can actually hinder a lot of what you can otherwise do, right? So first and foremost advice is for you to not jump to conclusions. And how do you avoid doing that is, as and when you have the examination paper on you, it's always suggested that you take about a couple of minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, to give a cursory look at the paper, right? Just see what all passages are there, what the genres of the passages are there. You just have to see, take a look at the genre of the passages. You do not have to judge the passage, right? You can only judge it when you come to solving it, right? Cross the bridge when you come to it, right? So make sure you're not jumping to conclusions. In this way you can actually make very hasty decisions without considering all facts and possibilities. Rather, it is always suggested, pause, take a quick break, go through the sections and passages for a couple of minutes before you start solving it. All right, so that is there as the first point here. Next is poor time management, and this happens with everybody for about one or two questions, but it's possible that we can eliminate this for even those couple of questions. Now there are certain questions or there are certain passages which might seem very foreign, or the level of difficulty of which is very high. In such cases, we just tend to focus too much on those passages. In doing so, it will take us more than 5-6 minutes. Sometimes we go up to 10-12 minutes to just read the passage, trying to rack our brains, understanding the main idea, when all of it is not really happening for us. And then we also have a particular set of question. We start to read the question and we keep on reading it, we keep on reading the options, but what happens is we're not able to solve it, we're not able to arrive at the final option. So for me, the rule is, and this might come handy, any question that takes you beyond 2.5 to 3 minutes to solve, take it as a red flag. Know that for the time being you're not able to solve the question, mark it for review, come back and solve it later. I'm not suggesting you to skip the question in toto, you can solve it later. It's better that you actually attempt the questions which are much easier to solve, questions that might just take 10 seconds to 1 minute to solve, than actually wasting a lot of time on such questions that are taking you so long, right? So any question that takes beyond 3 minutes to solve, leave it for the time being, mark it for review, or come back and solve it later. Now you might ask, ma'am, what about the passages? Sometimes I just find myself reading a passage for as long as 10-15 minutes. In such cases, understand, it's not that you have to read the passage verbatim or word for word. Read the introduction, read the conclusion, much can be decoded from the manner in which the passage culminates, right? Take a look at the keywords or adjectives used, the connectors, which is your howevers, buts, ifs, right? And only understand that which you're able to understand, right? Otherwise, what we tend to do is we tend to rely on background knowledge, right? So whatever you think you can literally interpret, you just make sure you focus on that much. Sometimes even though the passages are very difficult, the questions under it might be quite easy to solve. What if the questions are developed directly from the passage, right? What if you do not actually have a tone based question? Then in that case, such questions can be easy to solve, because tone based questions might require you to understand the context of the passage as well, right? So make sure that you are able to manage your time properly. Poor time management is actually one of the biggest hindrances for students to achieve good scores, right? Next point, not focusing on the requirement of the question. And there are a lot of videos in which I have reiterated this point a lot of times, which is, the first thing we do is we read the passage and then we read the question, right? Now when you're reading a question, you don't have to just read it plainly, right, or read it word for word. You need to focus on the requirement of the question, or you need to focus on what the question is asking. For example, it's a specific detailed question. And the question is something along these lines, according to these statements, and the statements are given in quotations from the passage, what best can you infer? Right? So what a lot of students might tend to do, and that is because they are reeling under a lot of pressure, because they're actually writing the actual examination. Right? What they tend to do is they just read the statement and they just go for the literal interpretation. Right? When in fact the question is actually developed on inference, wherein you actually have to decode the hidden meaning there. Right? So always focus on what the question is asking. And once you are able to understand what the question is asking, you locate that argument given in the question. You have to locate it in the passage given. Location here means you have to search for the argument in the passage. Once you are able to locate the argument or the statement given in the question, you read a couple of statements above it, you read a couple of statements below it. Right? Do not read statements or arguments in isolation. Right? Read it in the context given. That is how you are able to decode the actual meaning of it, or why the author is using that statement or argument in the first place. Right? So always remember, focus on what the question is asking you to find. Otherwise, we tend to misunderstand or overlook or skip important details. Right? So always read the questions carefully and underline key points in the passage. So this is another point. While reading the passage, make sure you are underlining key points. Now, what are the key points is up to you. And I think since you've practiced so much reading, you will be very intuitively able to tell what the important pointers in the passage might be, right? Next, guess working while eliminating options. Now all of us have already read the questions. Next thing we have is, we have a list of 4 options, right? And the best technique for arriving at the correct option is to eliminate the absolutely wrong or bad options, right? And for that also we have a couple of pointers that we share with the students, which is options that are very extreme, right? Options which are essentially repetitions from the passage, options that contain quantifiers such as only, most, always, necessary. Now what happens is, when you're actually writing the exam, we are always reeling under a lot of pressure, and we also have the pressure of attempting every question, because that's the ideal standard that is set for us. That's another thing, that CLAT 2024 and 2025 are going to have 120 questions. So it's fair to say that you should try and attempt most of the questions, but nonetheless what happens is that what we do is, sometimes while solving some of the questions we feel we don't have time, so you might as well just do some random guesswork, and whatever seems to us the fairest of all the options, we're going to go with it. In doing so, we might actually choose the incorrect option, so you need to avoid it, which means read every option word for word, read every option carefully. Sometimes we tend to overlook a lot of important words, right? Now this also happens, for example, if a particular option contains the word, and I'll write it here for you, causal. A lot of students actually misinterpret this, they misread it, and upon a very superficial or a cursory glance, we can actually read this as casual. So see the difference, this word is causal, but we tend to read it as casual in a haste, right? That is when we are actually feeling very pressurized. So avoid these things. So whatever words, whatever the content of the option is, read it properly, because if you're not able to do it, you might never know that it's the wrong option. You might end up choosing just the wrong option, right? So please avoid random guessworking. You shouldn't be guessworking at all. Even though the paper is subjective, understand that guessworking is something I'm not particularly fond of, nor should you be. All right. So use logical elimination based on facts, which we have already discussed in the previous videos, right? Next, focusing more on strong areas. Now, a problem that we as students tend to have is, we always enter the examination hall with a very predetermined mindset, that okay, for me assumptions is a very strong area, that okay, for me strengthening areas is very doable, or maybe for me vocabulary is my strong suit. But in believing so, what happens is, we tend to focus lesser on the sections that we feel are not really our strong suit. And sometimes in the examination, the questions that we feel we should be solving might be the difficult ones, right? So make sure that you adopt a very balanced approach. So it's not like you just have to focus on your strong areas. Sometimes the your weak areas can also have a lot of easy questions, very basic fundamental questions for you to answer. So learn to have a balanced approach, focus on every question. Do not, firstly, I always suggest, please do not go there with a predetermined notion of what the paper is going to be. Mocks can be difficult, the paper can also be completely difficult. You can never even imagine how difficult or different it can be, right? So do not have a predetermined ideology there. Be very adaptive. Whatever the paper looks like, you just tend to adapt to it in a manner you feel will help you solve the paper smoothly. Okay, so allocate time to both strong and weak areas, right? And please do not ignore weaker areas while focusing too much on your strengths. Is that clear? All right. Next, reading too quickly and panicking. This is again something that everybody does. Now, there are certain ways to actually attempt the paper. For me, one of the best ways is to make sure that the reading intensive sections are not solved towards the end. When I use the word intensive, these are the sections that actually require you to focus too much of your energy on it. So these include again your English language section, your legal awareness section, and your logical reasoning section. So for me, if you were to ask me what is a suitable strategy to attempt the paper, I'd suggest go for English language first, followed by current affairs as a breather for 10-15 minutes, right? Because it's very objective. If you know the answer to something, you can just mark it. If you do not know, you don't even have to guesswork it. You can just come back and solve it later. And then you can solve legal awareness. I put legal awareness after CA because it's a lengthier section and something that is more likely to fetch you marks, right? And follow it up with logical reasoning. Do not solve logical reasoning towards the end, because towards the first 1.5 hours only our mind is very exhausted because of all the focus and concentration that goes, right? So make sure that reading intensive sections are not left for the end. All right, so this is a strategy that you should employ. And how do you employ it? I'm sure you must have practiced multiple mocks by this time, right? Now what happens is, again, because it's a time bound examination and it's the actual day, so there are a lot of other factors also that goes into making us feel very flustered and angsty. In what happens then is we tend to read too quickly, we tend to panic a lot, right? So stop being panicky. I always suggest students is do breathing exercises before you start solving the paper. It's nice to be at the examination hall much earlier than others, so that you have a good 30 to 40 minutes to sit in the examination hall, relax, do some pranayam and some meditation or breathing exercises. Allow your mind to relax. Okay, so you wouldn't have to read too quickly. In reading too quickly, what happens is we will overlook so many important details in the passage, details which are very crucial, which are very central to solving the main idea questions, to specific detail questions. And then what happens is these then become blunders, silly mistakes, right, which we should always avoid. Conceptual blunder is something else, but making silly mistakes is something that will, haunt you later. We want to avoid it, right? It's the last thing we want, right? So make sure that you always read very slowly, and I say slowly in the sense of you reading it very patiently, right? So even if you feel you don't have a lot of time, be smart in your reading, right? Maybe you can skim it, but skim smartly. Introduction, conclusion, right? And focus on ideas that are being repeated throughout the passage. Adjectives, keywords, right? Hows, the ifs, the buts, and despites, right? So this is what reading too quickly will do to you. Skipping words, misreading due to hurry leads to errors, increased stress, right? You understand, you have to take the entire 5 sections in the exam. That also includes quants at the very end, and quants is something which can help you fetch a full 10 to 12 marks, right? It can be the deal breaker for you here, is what I personally believe in, right? So these are some of the very important points that I feel you should keep in mind. Overall, the ultimate message it boils down to is be very relaxed while attempting the paper. Do not go into the hall with a very preconceived notion of what the paper is going to be like, right? Have faith in your preparation. And yes, I hope you understood the pointers. Any doubts, any queries are appreciated. As a team, we are there on every social media platform. Feel free to connect with us or any of the mentors representing the Get Set Live online team. Thank you so much and have a great day.